Hello and welcome to the CYF Course. Today we will speak about mentoring. What is mentoring? Let me read you three definitions. Mentoring occurs when someone passes on to another person an aspect of their life that encourages growth. Mentoring involves intentional relationship in which the mentor passes on knowledge, skills, or values from his or her experience to a person or group that he or she believes in, that is teachable and participatory, and that wants to develop his or her potential. Barry Austin from YWAM said, mentoring is about helping people grow to reach their full potential for God. And Wayne Couchman says, a mentor is someone who is a little further down the road than you are, on the path you want to walk, and who is willing to give you a little light or help you along the way. Robert Clinton said, mentoring is a relational experience in which one person teams up with another by sharing God-given resources. Mentoring is a process of opening our lives to others, of sharing our lives with others, a process of living for the next generation, says Ron Lee Davis. From the life and example of Jesus, we can draw the fundamental concept of mentoring. More time spent with fewer people equals greater impact for God. Howard Hendricks said, you can impress people from a distance, but you can only impact them up close. Let's do a mentoring quiz. Can you answer the following questions? What is the name of the elderly woman who believed in Billy Graham and prayed for his salvation every night for 10 years? You know? Neither do I. Who built a relationship with a young shoe salesman named Dwight L. Moody? Who led Moody to Christ in his own store and then encouraged him to share his fresh faith with others, setting him on the road to becoming one of the most effective evangelists of the 19th century? Do you know? Neither do I. Who mentored a young Catholic monk named Martin Luther, helping him discover the transformative message of grace and freedom at the heart of the New Testament? Do you know? Neither do I. Who encouraged the English preacher Charles Haddon Spurgeon to persevere in a period of intense criticism and discouragement about his ministry? Do you know? Neither do I. And who saw and encouraged in a young man named Charles Wesley the ability to write great hymns of praise, long before Wesley himself considered writing songs? Do you know? Neither do I. So we know these great men of God, but we don't know the one who are behind them. And being a mentor means I would choose to position myself behind younger people that I want to coach, that I want to encourage, I want to teach, I want to train, I want to release. I want to stand there for these people, but there is no need for me to be known. And if people don't remember my name or don't even know that I was here, I don't care. This is the heart of mentoring. You know, there was a survey done with about 100 leaders, and the question was, how did you learn? How did you grow in your leadership? And there was 4 possibilities to answer. Formal training or education, perhaps a seminar or a course, or it could be formal, informal, non-formal. Taking responsibilities. You are given a role and you learn on the job with work allocation. Shaping experiences, like school-based learning of hard moves, unique experiences, exposure, failures, difficulties, disease. And fourth, the relationship, the personal training, the coaching or mentoring with role models, mentors, and peers. The result of the survey is 50% of the leaders said they learned through taking responsibilities, 30% through the relationship, 10% about the shaping experiences in their life, and 10% about the formal training or education. My own experience is 35% by taking responsibilities and 35% by relationships, then 15-15 with shaping experience and formal training. What about you? How did you learn? We find that for many people, the relational aspect, the influential relationship in their life are so crucial. But mentoring is not something we can do with everybody. We have a limited number of people we can invest in. And we need to draw the circles of friendship and close relationship that we can invest. We will not invest the same time or the same level of energy and emotions in every circle of relationship. Jesus had a relationship with the crowd. But after he had a relationship with maybe 120 acquaintances that he let in the upper room before going to heaven. And in that he had maybe 70 followers, the one he sent in a short-term mission trip. And in the 70 he had 12 that were very special, the apostle, and he was their rabbi. They were living with him. They were traveling, sleeping in the same place, eating together, having personal relationship. They could ask him questions. But on the 12, Jesus had 3, Peter, James, and John, that was closer to him. He was investing more time. He took them on the Mount of Transfiguration. He took them to raise up the daughter of Jairus. He took them for unique experience where other disciples were not here. And on the 3, there was one that was very special to Jesus. The disciple Jesus loved, John the apostle, the one who was putting his head on Jesus' heart, the one who was closest and the most intimate with the Lord. Do you know your circles of relationship? Who is your John? Who are your Peter, James, and John? Who are your 12 apostles? Maybe it's not 12. Jesus was very relational. I'm more introvert. If I have 5, like the apostle, in which I can pour out my life, it's already a big number. So what is your spiritual and relational capacity for mentoring? So mentoring is happening in your, I would say, natural circles of relationships. So who has the Lord entrusted you with in these different circles? And know how much time you need to invest and how much time you need to reserve for other circles. Mentoring is a relational approach. And I'd like to share with you 6 key A words for the relationships in our lives. And that could be aspects of mentoring that we should think through for every one of our lives. Who do I go to acknowledge my sin or to confess? And if I have a friend or a pastor or a counselor where I can regularly go and share about what is happening in my life at a deep level. And I know he loves me, I know he prays for me, and he is also open with me. About accountability in your life and ministry, it's good to have a leader and friend who can share about what you are doing, what is happening in your marriage, in your personal life, in your family, in your team, in the project that you are working on. And he's asking you the hard questions and help you process through that. Accountability is so crucial, especially for teenagers. Who is going to affirm you? It can be your spouse, it can be your children, it can be a leader, it can be a friend. Who will value you and say words that will give you strength? Do you have friends for being anchored that will give you roots and you know you can do a lot of things with them? Friends are also useful. I don't like this term when I speak about friends, but for activities. With who do you go to do activities together? And do you have a spiritual father or friend with whom you can share your ambitions and your dreams, and he can also pray with you for that? These are 6 aspects that we need to develop and make sure that we have people we can share with. And when we help the teenagers grow, we need to make sure they have these people too. I'd like to share with you a mentor's job description. I'm willing to spend the time it takes to build a close relationship with the mentee. I am committed to believing in the mentee's potential and future, to tell the mentee what kind of future I see for him or her, to share and develop possibilities for her life. I am willing to be vulnerable and transparent in front of the mentee, to share not only my strengths and successes, but also my weaknesses, failures, breakdowns, and sins. I am ready to be honest while being encouraging and confronting the mentee's mistakes, faults, and areas of immaturity. I am committed to stand by the mentees in trials, even self-inflicted trials, as a result of his or her ignorance or mistakes. I am committed to helping the mentee set goals for his or her spiritual life, career, ministry, and to helping the mentee have dreams. I am willing to objectively evaluate the mentee's progress toward his or her goals. Above all, I am committed to living faithfully all that I teach. Of course, that's just an introduction of this huge topic of mentoring. But let's have now a few questions that I'd like you to work together and share and pray for one another. And these questions are related to these A words. Do you have people to make sure that you are living these different categories in your life? May the Lord bless you.